All right, we back. We just saw Avatar, The Way of Water. Thoughts?
So,
I guess I'll start it off then. I thought that the movie was a little bit long. It was like 3 hours. It had no reason to be that long. The story was not hitting hard enough for me to want to sit there for 3 hours. I did not care about the characters. Only character I cared about was creepily childish Sigourney Weaver as a blue avatar. The rest of the characters were just, honestly, it was hard to sit there through that whole 3 hours. I just gotta be honest. Like, the movie, beautiful. Like, visually, that movie was hitting. I'll say they blew the whole budget on the visuals, and maybe it was worth it. You know, it did look good, but the story-wise, I don't know. I would never probably see that movie again, unfortunately. It was way too long.
Plot summary. Jake, Sully, and Neytiri formed a family and are doing everything to stay together. However, they must leave their home and explore the regions of Pandora. When the ancient threat resurfaces, Jake must fight a difficult war against the humans. Kind of again, but, you know, aside from the visuals, obviously, being amazing and fucking developing new tech and all that, you know, that James Cameron does, but I thought the themes were pretty good as well. I enjoyed the themes of family. It could have rehashed pretty much the whole story from the last one, which, don't get me wrong, I liked the first Avatar, but it was a very basic story. I think this one
was just as basic.
Was very basic, but also they were handling more themes. Like, they were juggling, you know, the themes of revenge and fucking clones. Well, spoilers, I guess. We're going full spoilers.
Revenge and clones.
Revenge, clones, family, whale hunting, pretty much colonizing a planet because fucking what's it called? Unobtainium no longer was basically Earth is fucked, and so the humans now need to colonize a new planet. Which I don't know. Relevant message.
What did that have to do with that? It wasn't even a thing in the movie, though.
Yeah, it was.
No, they were just after the whale stuff.
No, that's the reason that the military is fucking trying to take over, and they're using these clones. What's his name? The colonel, basically, who had a revenge fantasy and just trying to stop Jake Sully from being a terrorist, basically, and destroying all the military bases. Shit.
Yeah, so that was just corny though.
Like,
I liked that. He was the only other character I guess I cared about was his art.
It was the colonel.
The bad guy, yeah.
Because it was like, are you as a clone with your memories? Like, do you feel connected to your former self?
Which he totally did.
So, yeah, themes were on point.
I didn't think it was that great.
Definitely.
I'm glad somebody could look that deep into
it. It's fucking right there.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I mean.
Basic.
It was just so corny.
Like, it's such a basic.
That's why I couldn't get over it, man. They weren't even. I don't know. The story was not 3 hours worth.
No, for sure. It was super indulgent, way too long. But I mean, it's a nature documentary. It's a fucking. He wants you to look at all the 3 hours.
And you know, hey, that's what I came for, and they didn't deliver. Most of the movie was Jake Sully as the Avatar shooting like he was a military man. I didn't come for that. I didn't care for that. It was so much Avatar, like military Avatar. Of course, you know how I am.
Of course.
It was cultural appropriation to the max. I was not okay that these niggas now looked even more human-like and looked more black. If I had to say it, with their dreads trying to show off the power of the hair and all the.
Clear.
I get it.
Clear appropriation of like.
I get it. And Hawaiian culture too.
No. Yeah.
I get it.
Asian Pacific Islander culture with the tattoos.
They were
and all
trying
that
to get
stuff.
a little bit. Yeah, it felt like I just watched Black Panther again.
Don't even insult this movie like that.
I thought they were both like trash. But
no.
Trash is heavy, but Disney is like recycling.
Yeah.
My thing is just like they're both the same.
If you hated the story, you're gonna love the visuals because
the
they're
visuals
fucking
were on
amazing.
Point. Yeah,
and
but that wasn't enough
enough.
I don't know.
That's enough.
That's not enough for me. Only because, again, they give these guys these budgets and they just don't give me good stories. And it's like, well, what was the point in you making those?
If nothing else, like, I've never seen, like, the first one, obviously.
It visually, yes, it was on point.
The
visually
action was amazing. Like, damn.
We saw it in 3D. I don't know that it even helped.
You don't even think twice that's CG. Like, look at
I
the
could tell it was
skin.
CG. I literally knew it was CG.
Like,
He's
never
getting a little bit
think
hyped up, but you can totally tell it's CG. It
If
does
you
not
know
look
about
that real.
CG, you're gonna appreciate this movie. If you know anything about CG,
I'll
you're
go
gonna
for
look
that
at the
one.
fucking skin and you're gonna be like,
It's good
I can't
texturing,
tell,
but
like,
it doesn't matter.
yeah.
It just wasn't enough for me.
yeah.
That wasn't enough for me. They're just, you know
3D
what I
was
mean?
great. The
Wasn't enough.
I will say the frame rate had me tripping. It was switching like every scene, and that took me out of the
was
fucking.
a thing.
That took me out of the movie.
That was happening for real?
So.
Like when they would do those weird, like, yeah, okay. I thought
that's
I
one
was
thing
tripping.
I fucking hated. I wish they would just stick with one frame. It ripped me out of the movie every single time it switched from like people talking.
Hey, you good? Ooh, that was a spill. All right, but anyway, yeah, I thought that I was tripping.
Yeah, I mean, it was beautiful, but at the same time, they just switched it too much. Like,
I did not know they were doing that. I do not like that as a technique.
like 60 frame, like it seems like you're watching like motion
Okay,
blurring.
yeah,
like,
yeah, because
Yeah.
the 3D was weird to me because of that, and I was like, why is this like? I was taking my
I mean,
glasses off
I understand
sometimes.
why
Like,
he did
what are
it
they doing?
because it looks great. Like
it,
during
like
the
it gives
action
it like a
scenes,
weird focus that I didn't
during
like.
because you're trying to pay attention to the action, and I get why he did it that way, and he's trying to separate like the dialogue scenes.
Sure,
But just
I get
keep
it,
it at
but
60.
yeah.
Like don't switch
Yeah,
back
yeah.
and forth because it literally, I notice it every time, and I mean I guess I got used to it
I got used to it too, but I didn't
towards
like
the
it.
end, but
Maybe that's
yeah.
gonna be a new technique though that everybody's gonna be doing. I hope not.
Other
Speed
things,
ramp in the
other
frame
things
rate.
that I like before we keep trashing it.
It was just visually. That's all I could get behind.
Sigourney Weaver's kid, that was cool because she was connected to Awa because Grace sort of died and got absorbed by the Awa.
So
the
what
tree
was she?
life.
She was a tree baby.
I guess. I mean, I liked her powers. I liked how she
I did
was
like
all
her
this
powers.
meditative,
She's the only one I cared to watch. Honestly, they should have just made the movie about her.
Yeah, like there was some mystery there, and yeah, it was interesting.
All the other kids were annoying. The two brothers who they
I
focused
liked
on way
the
too
family
much.
dynamic. Like,
Man, I was over it really fast.
like that's
much
what,
teen
that's
angst.
that's how you interact with brothers.
No,
and you're
that's not. But
playful
see,
and fucking-
they were making them very like it was too human American, and that's why I didn't like it. Because it was like, why would you be
Yeah,
acting
bro.
like this? Yeah, you wouldn't
Come
be
on, bro.
acting like this. He wouldn't have that teen angst if he was from the Avatar world. That they were just writing themselves
Well,
like
they're
they were just
humans.
making. They
They're
weren't.
fucking
I get
not
it.
regular
I
avatars.
get it, but they wouldn't have had those mannerisms. You know what I mean? Like they were just like,
I mean,
and nobody
it's a
else was
movie,
like that.
you
Sure,
know, they have
sure,
to speak
it's a
English
movie.
all the time, and
I
blah
get
blah
it,
blah, and they
but
have
it was just
5
goofy.
fingers instead of 4.
Too many things were just goofy
I
to
think,
me.
I mean, the themes about
Come
yeah,
on,
like
man,
kids are gonna watch this and be like, yeah, like I could be different.
You know, we're
I
wrapping
can-
up the year right
I can,
now, and I want it
I
better.
can marry into a culture that I, you know, and
I was fine with that. I
I
didn't
don't-
mind them mixing and all that stuff, but it was just like, I don't know. They were making those avatars really white, and that was pretty much. I can just leave it there. And I don't want to
What, the
get too
Na'vi?
deeper. Yeah, no, those guys as
Oh,
our
the
main
kids?
characters. Yeah, they were making them really white, and it was just like, but there's no reason for that. They would probably be a little bit more Native American acting and vibed if that's a world that they grew up in.
I mean, the guys, you know, person who made it is white. So
Yeah, I get it,
guess,
and that's why I get it, and that's why I don't like the appropriation thing, because I feel like you kind of invalidate your story sometimes with that type of shit. But whatever, people are
wait,
gonna see
I mean,
it.
like,
He's
what,
made $1
what do you
billion.
like? What is your
whatever.
complaint about that? Like what? Like I mean, that has nothing to do with the story, really.
It did though,
It's
because
just
the way
the
he was
themes.
acting, like the kid always getting into trouble, constantly doesn't listen. Like even that just gets annoying after a while. Like certain motifs, I guess, and certain
do
things
not-
just get annoying. And they use the same beat
behaving.
too much. Let's use this same. Okay, they're kidnapped.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, that was way
come
too
on. To where they even said something and it wasn't even
Yeah,
funny.
yeah,
The
yeah.
joke didn't even land because it was like, yeah, you guys are like running the same thing
I mean,
over and over
they
and
had
over.
to get kidnapped twice because the whale had to come
I
in.
feel
and,
it. I feel
and
it.
Fucking
But-
rip that
but
dude's
come
arm
on,
off.
man. These
I
guys
mean,
were killing
are
me
you
with that
kidding me?
shit.
Like that action scene with the whale, like
Being smart, yes, that was
yeah,
cool. But that was like,
fucking
nah.
sick.
But they
And the
could have
whole
come
whale
with too
thing
many
too,
different
man.
things.
Like, yeah.
I got that, but they were trying to hit that home a
like
little bit too
whales
much
are like
too.
you know, smart, and you know, there's this whole thing about whale hunting for oil, and
But they sure
that's a
were
real
graphic
thing.
about showing how the whole process and how they actually did it too. And it was
They
like,
should have
okay.
done that because that's the whole. Yeah, they should have had that more towards the beginning because we had what an hour, 2 hours to get to the really like what's going on. Like these people are, trying to get this whale juice to because you can be immortal, like, or like
Yeah,
you could live
humans
forever.
are become immortal. That was dumb.
Yeah.
And then the fact that they just, even them introducing that, I didn't care at that point. Like, I was so busy, like, can Jack Scully or whatever just give himself up so that his family
the story,
can live?
like the plot makes total sense. Like,
Sure it does.
like
It just didn't have to be 3 hours.
It's a creative plot that I haven't really seen before. Where
Yeah, you have. You've seen
this
that
clone
movie.
is being used by the government to.
I've
try
written
to-
that before. Even
try to
I've written
catch
that. I've written that before.
Catch the
Come on, that was not
the
the unit.
terrorist, and then they're combining the plots of, hunting animals and blah blah blah, like, sea life. The first one was about like the forest people, and the second one was about, obviously
I got
sea
it.
people,
I got it.
and they gotta learn the way of water and in order to survive. And themes came back at the end when they had to use their meditative breathing techniques. I guess I'm a sucker for that. So I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, great. It even ended just like Link, great. So
Well, it ended like the first one. Or it ended like the first one.
this is
started.
our home. It's always our home. Everything's our home and family. It
I
literally
think
was on
this
some Fast
is
and
like
Furious.
a perfect. I mean, it's not obviously not too deep, but like, yeah, kids are gonna take some
this
great
was a
stuff out of
kids
it.
movie. If
Yeah.
I had to just say it, like,
is.
yeah, it was
It is,
totally
but it's a great
movie.
kids movie because
It
like
was
there's
cool.
no problematic themes like all the other
It was
blockbusters
good.
out there.
It was good for a kids movie. I'll say that at least.
Yeah. I mean, what? Yeah.
But
what
it
else,
was just, I don't know.
What else
I
can a
felt like
blockbuster give you?
they were trying to make it too PG-13 with all the guns and stuff. That just was so, I don't know. I thought they could have taken it a different direction than retelling the same story in a different, like they literally just said, okay, Jake Scully has to get used to a brand new, or Jake Sully, whatever, has to get used to a brand new environment, and this guy is hunting him. And they just rehashed that exact same story.
Yeah.
And I get that they
Well-
switched some things up. I get that he had a family now, but even they were just annoying to me. They added nothing. Zoe Saldana is like a main actress, and she really wasn't even in the movie.
Yeah.
There was just a lot
No,
of things that I thought they
definitely-
really didn't.
definitely, I
They
thought- I
3
wanted-
hours, and she was in it like 10
I
minutes.
wanted her to be. I thought before I went in, I thought I was like, this needs to be her movie. 'Cause-
She was just a savage the whole movie. Emma portrayed her as that. Just a savage.
Oh yeah, no, I love that part when she went fucking ape shit, like because her like that when you lose a kid, like yeah, that shit. She just went fucking
That
beast
was
mode.
and that was just her whole role though. And I don't
she
know.
went beast mode.
There's
Like, it
just
was
I don't
the
know.
act-
We don't need another
well,
woman king.
The action
I get it.
justified it.
I'm
To
just-
me.
You know. Thanks, James. Thanks for another try coming out here. Hope you make your other films. I hope you just hire some more black people to be avatars. That'd be cool. I think that if you're gonna appropriate any cultures,
Well, yeah. Well, in that case, don't.
or
Stick with the stick with the Navi. Don't. keep
or
adding.
introduce some some different things. I thought that it would be aliens, a different alien problem, or something. You know what I mean? Something
It was
in that
really,
vein.
What's Quaritch's movie though? His like the thing that changed for me the most from the beginning to the end of it, which wasn't a whole lot to be honest, but because the military is still there and still doing everything that they're gonna try to do, was like I think the next movie might be about him because he's sort of had a change in he's like the villain that turns good. Because,
But he hasn't turned good though. The
I
dude just
think-
saved him and then he ran
Well,
off.
he didn't kill his kid, and I think that's what it's going to though. Like I think he's gonna have a
cool,
change of heart because I don't know, people got to change. It's that Dragon Ball Z thing where I think he's
but
gonna
Dragon Ball Z
join
does it better and faster.
the clone is gonna join
Avatar
the
team.
Avatar team, and I don't know. That's my guess.
And these movies, they're high budget. Everyone loves them apparently, but I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna take all this money, like, why not just make a story that I feel like everybody can vibe with a different kind of way? Like, these aren't even hitting like a Pixar film would.
I don't know,
Pixar
man.
anyway.
I think we should
Like,
just
well-
celebrate this. Like,
Okay,
not
I'm
the trash on
celebrating.
it.
Hey, I'm celebrating. But
All
why
the-
why didn't Jake Sully just have to go on like an adventure in the water though? Why could it have been like, his body had to adapt to the water, and we were going through that story as their bodies actually adapted to the water and they became those kind of people.
Yeah.
The struggles were because
Also-
they couldn't adapt unless they knew themselves on a deeper level, on the meditation shit, on like make it a
That's-
real part of
that's
the
what it was
story.
saying, I
No, it
guess.
was just a breathing technique. That's all that was a breathing technique, but they didn't
Yeah.
really go deeper into that. And it's
Well,
like,
it's
come
gotta
on.
be surface level.
But do we have to have every 20 seconds? Like, that was just like, come on. Come on.
He's military. That's
I
what
get
he
it.
is.
I get it. But
Also-
his character didn't really grow much. It was
I
just,
did have a
come on.
problem with
on.
with the water people so easily allowing them to be like, okay, you can come and stay with us and bring your fucking bullshit
Your
problems.
war, yeah, bring the war over here after they clearly said that this is war. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I get it. Summer blockbuster kids movie, Disney movie. Let's let everybody know this is a Disney film. Know that we love Disney, but
I
know
guess,
that. Know
and
what you're
I
going
really,
into.
I really did like. I'm like going from things I didn't like, but the
Ooh,
Outcast
that was
whale.
He was fun.
The Outcast whale was a nice plot twist, or not plot twist, but just.
He was a cool character. But
good
why did
character.
they not believe him when he said, "Okay, these guys killed all the people"? You know what I mean?
They don't kill at all. But
I get it, but he should have already known. They should have known based off that he was probably telling the truth when he was saying that those guys
they
came
thought
and
that
they bombed
the
them.
Outcast whale killed that whole.
That's what I'm saying, but they
Yeah.
should have known when he said, "I didn't do this. The humans came and bombed them."
Well, that was the brother of the Na'vi speaking.
No,
like, they
when
didn't
the
trust him.
whale said that, they could speak with them.
Yeah.
He should have known when they told him, "Hey, I didn't do this. It was
Look at
the
my
humans
fin.
who
Look
blew
at my
these
fin."
guys up." Yeah, they should have understood it. Like, it just didn't make any sense. Too many things were just like, what? They were speaking with at first I was like, oh, I guess I get it, because they would have just seen the herds. But then they started talking, and I'm like, if they can speak, then it doesn't even, like, what?
Maybe it's lost in
Yeah,
translation.
okay. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's not too much of a
Yeah,
issue
sure,
to me.
but I don't
guess,
know.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I
some
mean,
weirdness.
if the what's it called again? Those whale creatures.
Yeah, I don't
If
remember what they were called.
if none of them have ever killed, and this one just, has gone like rage mode, like, yeah, I mean, I get why you would be scared of.
But
like
he
his
hadn't
story,
gone into rage mode.
I mean,
You know
no,
what
why would they ever want to talk to him? Because he's dangerous to them.
But
Like,
that's just a conceptual. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like-
Conceptually.
it's like,
But they would have. Somebody would have talked to him. They can speak to these
I know,
animals.
but it's like that mysterious figure that's like dangerous.
Oh, we're not
and
going
then-
over there because he's a killer.
But he turns out to just be like a.
Like, no, guys, I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
What's a good example? It's probably a good
It
example.
wasn't me,
of that.
man. Episode 6, Max Caliber. Make sure you go over there and click on the series and then click Max Caliber. We got a situation
Anyways,
like that.
yeah, like I've only heard pretty much negative except from you, except like visuals.
Man, the movie, it was only just visual. It was so long. I was like, whoa, my
Well,
God,
like,
get this in.
what visual? Like what about the visuals?
Because it was a marvel of, like you said, the textures, and even just like their little dreadlock hairs being so textured, and the skin, the water, the movement,
Everything underwater.
the facial expression,
Water's
like
hard to-
technologically,
hard to
it was cool, but that's not enough. That means they just wasted the budget to make some shit that looked cool, but I didn't care about the movie. Everyone's gonna
there
see
was
it,
like,
sure.
like you
but
said, like there was a lot of drawn out stuff. Like underwater, there was like
Come on,
literally
man.
5 to 10 minute pieces of just literally nothing, and I kind of like that.
yeah, those were my favorite parts of the movie,
Yeah.
when it was like
Okay.
that. But I did not like when they were trying to tell a story because it was sucking. I would prefer to just watch the little airy girl,
I mean,
Sigourney Weaver, float through all the
again,
different
I
little
think,
things.
I think the story is fine.
Sure.
It's not like
Yo, man,
I
they
don't
can't.
know.
I saw that Everything Everywhere All at Once, man, and so now
Well-
I know there's levels to this. And if you're gonna
Well-
be paying, if they can shoestring budget something like that, then James Cameron getting paid all this money needs to be able to hit me with a story that makes me care, or at least hit me with all characters I care about. If you're gonna focus in on all these characters and you want to tell this grand rainbow of characters, you know what I mean, collage of characters, at least make them interesting characters I really
There
do
was a lot
care
of
about.
characters.
And there was a lot of flat characters that was
lot of
like,
characters.
okay, you're just generic ass, you're the generic chief. You're the generic chief's wife. Like, I didn't care. I
Right.
didn't care about any of those
yeah,
characters.
like the fish people, like we barely found out their whole deal.
we literally
Like,
met the chief.
the chief. Yeah.
And
I guess the
I don't
daughter-
know. There's a lot.
The daughter was a big part
But
of
that was
it,
the
but
chief.
yeah.
That was the chief's daughter.
Chief's
it was
daughter.
just the chief and his wife
I
and
guess
his
you
kid. Like,
saw like the other clans of the fish people.
but we just
get-
saw them in the background going, ooh, ooh.
No, they were threatened to ask.
Oh,
if
when they
they'd
were just getting
seen-
burned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
burned,
we just saw them
basically,
getting
yeah.
oppressed and prosecuted, of course. Classic. My favorite scenes. Really get to know a
Yeah,
character
yeah,
while his
yeah.
home's getting burned and he's getting a gun pushed to his face.
Yep.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
All right. So,
yeah, maybe it shouldn't. Yeah, maybe it would have been better if it wasn't about the military fucking. But it's a
it
big
just,
theme.
yeah, it was an okay movie. I'm not even
Like
just
it's a
trying to
theme
hate,
that
but
that I think won't do harm to young kids.
Okay, but it will, because they're not gonna take away what they're gonna watch. They're gonna watch whales.
Yeah,
they're gonna watch them
exactly.
shoot stuff. They're gonna watch them
Actually,
burn
that's
stuff.
one thing.
Visually, that didn't get that message across, and that's the other
In fact,
it just wasn't it.
some
for me.
people might say the whale hunting was so epic that like it fetishized whale hunting.
That's what I meant by them showing the long, drawn-out process of how they do it, like it was a art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just like, come on, dude. Like they just didn't nail that right. Like those were the most likable characters. You know what I mean? He was the likable guy. I was really following their story more than anybody else's. Is the killers. All those guys were my favorite kind of characters.
Yeah,
it just
like,
was, come on. They didn't put it
scientist
together
that was
right.
like obsessed with it, and the other one that was like, okay, I got to do this for work, but
I felt like James Cameron was really good at writing those characters. And so, yeah.
I mean, he's
shout out.
a tree hugger.
I know there was a couple of
stuff.
writers and people on there, but still, come on, yo.
Anyways,
Rated.
I mean, I really liked it. I loved it visually. I mean, obviously for a blockbuster, you can't expect too much story-wise, but I still
think you can.
Enjoyed the like what? Name one blockbuster. Everything Everywhere all at Once doesn't
It's
count.
not a blockbuster.
Yeah.
It's not a blockbuster.
Name one that has a great story.
Don't get me started, bro. Top Gun Maverick.
Bullshit, like American fucking idealists.
Don't cap. You know that was a good movie. That was
was
emotionally weaved.
Yeah,
though.
but it was a fucking.
But it was emotionally weaved.
It was like military propaganda again. Anyway.
Well, of course, but it was a good movie still. This one was military propaganda, and it wasn't that good. It just had very good visuals. That at least was a good movie story-wise. I cared about the characters, and there's actual stories. And I feel like they could have done that same kind of thing with this movie.
This is a family story. You got the family of whales. You got the family of
I just didn't
fish
believe
people,
it though.
The family
but it was such a I know his character was a contradiction.
Was a grand scope of Pocahontas. You know, colonist.
And this was the Little Mermaid.
And this was
Pocahontas.
this was like okay, we're actually getting to know the families and their dynamics, and it's a little more personal and like. I mean, obviously there's big stakes, but like a lot of the scenes were like kind of smaller stakes. You got to see the adventures of the kids, like learning how to breathe underwater and swim and like get into shenanigans and whatnot. So I don't know. I think it's again, yeah, it's a good kids movie. I think there's nothing super duper offensive.
Yeah, nothing super duper offensive. You know, it could have been, you know.
Anyway, I mean, visuals alone pulls it up for me. I would say
I give it the visuals, but
I would say 9.
9. He's giving it a 9. I'm gonna have to,
9.
you know, I'm being generous, but I'll give it a 7. It's me being generous.
Okay. Wow, you thought anyway. There's a lot of movies that you've given a 7 that I feel are not as good, but
I would give it like a 6 probably, but I'm being, you know, they worked hard on the visual element, and I can respect that. I can respect that's points right there for me. They did do a good job with it, but it was just like, you know.
Do you think it was expectations that if you had lower expectations, would you have liked it more?
Would I have liked it more? No, because the runtime was not justified by the story. And you know, if you want to make an airy, you know, film where we're just talking about the visuals and you want to lean into that element, then lean into that element.
Green something? Green Night?
You know, lean into that element. Let it be airy. Let the story be kind of airy like that on some free flow. Like our problems are we're getting trapped inside of actual caves and stuff. Our problems are like the running out of air, more things along. They did a decent amount of that. They did a decent amount of that.
Yeah.
But they didn't take.
Where those came back. Those the things that you learned came back to help at the end.
Yeah, I just you know. But you know, could they have just run out of air in a cavern? Why'd it have to be inside a military tanker and stuff? Like it's just all those.
Also, when Quaritch was about to slice Grace's daughter. What's her name? Kiri. And then Matsiri came in with the knife to Spider.
Oh,
character.
little boy, yeah.
I like that moment. Except that probably didn't have to happen. Like, he was totally outnumbered. First of all, I feel like
he was saying he'll just kill one of them. That was just a threat.
But before that, I'm saying like I feel like.
Like the movie was just dragging on just for the sake of it dragging on. Like if they were so good compared to all the rest of those soldiers, they should have just offed them like hours ago. Like that could have happened hours ago. And he had the help from the chief. Like that could have happened hours ago. And he was just a coward. Most of the movie, he was just being a coward and running from this problem that wasn't going to disappear.
Wait, who was?
Jake Sully.
Yeah. Like, I guess he just wanted to get away and protect his family, I guess.
But he knew that they were going to
very
chase.
simple.
And if he really cared about his family, and that's what I'm saying, like, he's talking all this family stuff, but he's an ass father, and
What
he
do you
did not
mean?
give himself up, really, to save his family. If he was serious, he would have already gave himself up,
He
but he's
did.
always like, I'm a soldier, I got to fight.
He did at the end.
And then his
though.
kids are like, Father, somehow I
His
speak with
kids
this
fucked
accent.
everything up.
I speak with the accent somehow, Father. And it's just like,
I know,
dude,
it's
stop.
kinda- Anyways, we're getting off topic, but
No, yeah, we're talking about the movie. And it was just, you
that's
know.
a point that's off topic. But he did give himself up twice, and then the kids kind of fucked everything up. But
Well,
their kids are kids.
you know, hey.
Kids learn, and the kid died, so the kids learned a really valuable lesson.
Yeah,
at the end
shut
of
the
day.
fuck up and stay in the pocket.
Don't do what your father says not to do. If he's competent, then
Yeah,
maybe
man.
listen a little bit.
Listen to your parents.
If everybody's saying it, maybe don't go and do it. And then don't do it again. And then do it again. And then do it again. Like, come on now. Great writing.
mean-
Great writing, yes.
Kids be like that.
Yeah, I guess they
Anyways, all right,
do. Well,
that's all I have to say.
we out.